Risky places you should avoid when buying a property. Number one is land under government acquisition. That is a committed land. Land under government acquisition are land that are acquired by the government for its own specific purpose, and they have plans for that land in the nearest future depending on the intentions of the government. And the best way to know a land that is under government acquisition is to take a surveyor to the site and to chart up the place and pick up coordinates. From there, you can proceed to the land registry to chart the land in the land registry. From the information gotten from the land registry, you will know whether or not the land is under government acquisition. Number two is boundary lands between two communities. Boundary lands are trouble-prone areas that should be avoided, especially if it is in an underdeveloped place. A client of mine told me how his father bought some plot of land at Sars Road, Portharcourt, a boundary land sitting between two communities, between Portharcourt and Rumaholo. He bought it from Portharcourt community. Twice their fence were demolished, and the third time the laborers were chased out of the site by people from the neighboring community who claimed that the land was their ancestral land. After some series of court battles that lasted for a period of 14 years, the court declared Rumaholo community the rightful owners of the land, meaning his father will either forfeit the land or pay ratification to Rumaholo community. If you're in Portharcourt and you know Sars Road very well, then you must be familiar with the land dispute between Rumaholo community and Portharcourt that lingered for years, because many people who bought land in those areas have their properties demolished, and those that don't want their property to be demolished were left with no other option than to buy the land from the two conflicting parties. That is, they buy from Rumaholo community and at the same time they buy from Portharcourt community. So land sitting at the boundary between two underdeveloped communities should be avoided by all costs. The third is land without any valid documents. That is, it can either be a native land or a virgin land. It is much easier to buy a land with documents than it is to buy a land without any valid document, because it is very easy to trace who the rightful owner of the land is. That is why the use of local intelligence in gathering information should be intensified if the land is a native land, or better still, it is better to avoid it if you are a novice in buying properties. The fourth is land located within neighborhoods that are characterized with so much insecurity and cult-related activities. Why? Because the demand for properties in those locations will be low, which will also affect the price of properties, because nobody would like to buy a property in a place where they can't sleep at night. The fifth is to avoid places that are densely occupied by natives of that community, because development in that neighborhood will be very, very slow. Most places dominated by native are ghetto-like, and properties in those areas have gotten to their climax with little or no prospect for further development. This is the reason why a plot of land in Rumaholo community, not the local government area of Rivers State, will be selling for 4 million naira, whereas a plot of land in Amechi School Road in just the same neighboring community will be selling for 10 to 15 million naira. So places that are densely populated with people that are native of that community should be avoided. Next is places with slow or non-existent development from the government. Places with no visible infrastructure development from the government in the past 10 years are not a good place to invest. This is one of the major reasons why a place can remain underdeveloped over a long period of time. If the government that owns the land are not going there, please don't go there, because it will take over a century to have a good return on investment. Lastly, avoid places where the majority of the properties in that neighborhood are for sale, because there might be something that is driving the occupants away that you don't know and they won't tell you. So these are some of the places that you should avoid when you want to buy a property. If you want to buy a property in any location and you discover any of these things that I have mentioned, please do not buy a property from that place. Avoid that place entirely. If you have gotten value from this video, kindly click on the like button, subscribe to this channel, and click on the bell notification so you'll be notified when we post any video. And if you have any question, you can also do well to drop your question in the comment section. I will try as much as I can to respond to every question in the comment section. Till I come your way next time, my name is Chris Asika. Bye-bye.